Good morning. I figured I would give you a little update. We are about 3 weeks in to preparing for the nursery. A lot of work to do. The weather has not cooperated. Matter of fact, while I was shooting the video for making this greenhouse, the wind caught my camera and blew it over, and it's toast. So I ordered a new camera. I'm actually shooting this on my phone because part of the idea here was that we would YouTube what we were doing. A little hard to do when your camera is busted. That was an expensive mishap. Where are we at right now? We're getting ready to move. We're breaking our polytunnel in half, moving over here and making them shade tunnels or shade houses. I am physically exhausted. Not gonna lie, I am physically exhausted, which is why this morning I'm doing a much overdue task and transplanting. I've got a whole tray of coleus here that has needed some attention, but it's awfully hard to do, and we've got a marker board with all of our tasks. I mean, we're trying to stay organized, but it's a bit of a mess. I'm telling the truth. But you know, people have stopped by, people we know have stopped by, and I keep getting this question of what made us decide to do this. So it's multifaceted. Like, I've always loved plants and playing in the dirt. I grew up on a farm. Of course, this is like landscaping and flowers. It's a bit different. It doesn't have much of a root on it. So there's that. Like, do what you love. But the story's gonna get a little personal. Maybe a little long, but I'll try to get there. So 5 years ago, we sold our house and moved out here to take care of my husband's mother and the woman who basically raised him, because his mother is mentally handicapped. And his aunt, the one that I'm speaking about, left us her house so that we could look after his mother, because there's no one left to do it. So we looked after his aunt in her final days. We really didn't know what we were taking on there. It's a lot more than you think it is. And I won't go into details because I don't want to, I want to respect her privacy. But it's like taking care of a toddler who's a lot stronger-willed. She was of sound mind right up until the end. Bless her heart. Sweet, sweet woman. But while she was getting to the end, well, last year started with my husband breaking his ankle, and he needed rods and pins. It was pretty bad. He was in excruciating pain for months. Matter of fact, I wasn't sure he was going to make it out of that one alive, if you catch my drift. There was a lot of depression there. When you're stuck, you can't move, you're in pain all the time, you can't sleep, appetite's gone. I mean, it's just, and then the stress of everything that we had going on. So fast forward to early summer last year. My husband's neck had been bothering him really, really bad. And that had been going on for weeks. Like, he just kept saying he had clavicle pain. And I would massage on it and stuff and do what I could, but it just nothing helped. So he went in to urgent care one day because he wasn't feeling so hot. And on his way home, they did a chest x-ray to see if he had pneumonia or something going on. On his way home, they called him and told him they were sorry to do this to him, but they needed him to turn around and go to the hospital. Long story short, my husband was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. and he went in for surgery where they removed the thyroid, and I think he grew like 32 extra lymph nodes. They had to take all those out too. And they were quite honest with us, like it's possible he'll never speak again. It's possible he won't make it out of the surgery because of the area that this is affected, like right up against some arteries and stuff. So it was a very stressful, very scary time. He made it out of surgery. He still has his voice. The doctor, it was supposed to be a 4-hour surgery. It ended up being like 12 hours, I think. We were there literally all day. It was something else. But the doctor called in for backup. My husband is a musician. Matter of fact, he's a singer. That's how he makes his living. So the doctor, respecting that, told us that he actually showed my husband's best friend and I a video of the surgery. They were taking scalpels and scraping the nerve that controls the voice box to get the cancer off. After that, he had some radiation treatments, and so far so good. He's doing okay. Now there's a lot of discomfort. He feels like he's being choked all the time, and we've been told that could take a year to go away. So yeah, he's okay, but there's not okay. Still suffering. Okay. While he was in the hospital recovering from surgery, his aunt passed away. So we went through that. The house was given to us as she had promised, and we have been taking care of his mother still. Now his aunt was in her 90s. The house had been let go. The roof was in rough shape. There's one very tiny little bathroom, and I don't know if you noticed on the other videos, but my husband's a large man. He's 6'8". So we renovated this tiny little bathroom, knocked out a wall, because not to be too gross, but you almost couldn't take care of business after taking care of business without making a mess on the walls, because like it was, porta potties are bigger, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry, I know that's gross, but so anyway, we made that bathroom a little bigger, knocked out a wall between the bathroom and the closet, but we decided, because so much needed to be done, just to get a home equity loan and knock it all out at once. While we were going through the home equity loan, we had some very serious discussions. The job I had wasn't a bad job. It was a good job. Very stressful. There was no lunch break. They thought you could eat lunch at your desk and answer the phone. Which, okay, fine. 3 10-minute breaks was what you got, and it was what it was. And that wasn't my reason for wanting to leave. Time was the reason I wanted to leave. Time to go kayaking, to take vacations. I haven't had a vacation in like 5 years. I'm almost 50 years old. And, you know, I'm not even talking about extravagant vacations. We have a vacation planned in July with the family where we're just rented a cabin just to spend time together, hang out, maybe do some fishing, and that's it. It's like nothing extravagant. It's time with my husband because he's high risk. He's healthy now, but let's be honest, no one with cancer lives into their 90s usually. I mean, everyone I've known that's beat cancer, it has come back. And that's not to say that it will. As far as cancers go, it's one of the dare I say, easier ones. The recidivism rate is like low, but he's high risk because it had spread and lymph nodes are involved. So either way, we talked about this. We have 4 acres now. Supposedly we're getting another 2. We'll see. So we decided to take the lead. We got the home equity loan, and we got things going on with the house, which would be done, some of it would already be done if contractors would just return phone calls. I don't understand, like, if you want business, yeah. Like, I've asked for quotes for this bathroom that we're putting in. I've been asking for quotes for 3 months. Like, I knew that we were getting this home equity loan. We'd already talked about that part. And trying to get someone in here just to give us a quote and a plan for the bathroom, next to impossible. Like, people just don't return phone calls. So I tried email, because you know what, I don't like being on the phone either. So I've tried email. Then yeah, I don't get it. They must not really need the business. Like, I understand that some people get, you know, if they're good, they're going to be busy, and anybody that could do it tomorrow is probably not somebody you want doing your bathroom. But with that being said, I know that this is a risk. Anytime you start a business, like anybody that's ever looked at starting a business, yeah, the success rates are not high. Matter of fact, I've owned a business before. And the reason I had to shut that down was overhead. I was doing okay, sales-wise, but the overhead for retail space, dealing with the city, it wasn't worth it. I was working full-time and had a company. I never had a day off. Like, it was 24/7, you know what I'm saying? So, having already owned a business, like, at least this one is seasonal. So I can get a break. Well, as far as overhead goes, of course, we'll have a mortgage payment, but we're going to have that anyway. I bootstrapped a lot of this. You know, I'm not going to get into my personal financials, but I bootstrapped a lot of this. Some of the stuff we already had. The biggest investment, of course, is the plants themselves. I am running into some problems. I filed for my nursery license with the state of Indiana back in March. It is the end of April. I tried to call to be like, hey, because if you look at the website and the questions, they're like 2 to 3 weeks. Well, that's not 2 to 3 weeks. But if you ever tried calling the state, it went to a voicemail. Thankfully, I didn't go through like automated hell, but it went straight to a voicemail, and I still have not heard anything. They have not cashed the check for the fee. So what do? Do I apply again? I mean, I'm seriously thinking about sending another application, because, like, hey, it's the end of April. People want to plant plants, and I would like to open as soon as we are done. I mean, as soon as we're ready to open, I would like to open. But you can't sell plants without a license in the state of Indiana. Well, in most states, I think all of them. You have to have a dealer's license. I've got all the prerequisites, sales tax ID, all that other jazz. I got all that. We have our LLC. Just, you know, waiting for that nursery dealer's license from the state of Indiana. So, I'm not sure if it'll be part of this video. Maybe I'll do that at the end after it warms up a little bit. It is only 47 degrees outside. It's chilly. But I'll show you what we have going on here. What we have left to do. I have to drill the well for irrigation. I will make a video on that. We have to move the polytunnels and turn them into shade houses. I'm torn on whether or not to put poly on one and shade cloth on the other. Most of the plants benefit from some shade, but the polytunnel would protect it from, you know, we are in Northwest Indiana, so cold frost. To an extent, you know, if the temperatures below freezing is below freezing, and no amount of poly is gonna take care of that. We have to put our sign up. It came in the mail. I have it, or you know, delivered. I have the sign, but we got to put that up. But brush has to be cleared at the end of the drive before we can do that. Oh, you know, I still have 3 trays of plants that need to be potted up. From, you know, the little, let's see if I can find one. They come in trays like this, and you have to pot them up into bigger pots. So, I got, I think, 3, maybe 4 trays of plugs. I did the hanging baskets already. I think I have one more tray of plugs for hanging baskets, but I've done most of the hanging baskets already. Those are going to be gorgeous. And I have, I think, one more order coming in with some trees. Other than that, I think all my orders and all my fruit came in. Like, I have raspberries, blueberries, bush cherries. So all those came in. I'm excited about that. People love edibles. And I'm not talking about those kind of edibles, but, you know, fruit. I have a point of sale system from when I owned a business before. I still have to get that set up. I have been in the mornings drinking my coffee, setting up my price list. Got to figure out all the costs, the profit margin, all that jazz. So I've been working on that. That's almost done. So then I can transpose that into the point of sale system, so that it's easier to check people out. I don't want that to be complicated. My husband is not a stupid man by any stretch of the imagination, but when it comes to technology, he kind of freezes up a little bit. So I have a square system. Sorry, I put the knife in my face. I have a square system, which, if you've ever used one, is really simple. You can even just put pictures on there. So I want it easy enough, simple enough, so that anybody can run it, even somebody who's a little nervous about technology. Now my husband, bless his heart, is busting his hootie, but he still has bad days, where if he works really hard one day, sometimes it takes him 1 to 2 days to recover. And that's just part of having cancer. There's a lot of fatigue involved, and he gets frustrated by it, but I try to remind him, like, dude, you had major surgery. You have to recover from that. And then you had radiation, and you have to recover from that. And it's normal for you not to be able to do the things you were doing a year ago. But he's a proud man, and he's trying to push through. And I'm trying to make sure he eats. Yesterday I was shoving a hamburger in his face. We had company over for a bonfire, and I was worried because he worked hard all day and didn't eat. But that man, okay, so the cool thing about this property that we're on, this is where my husband grew up, and his grandparents, the Hubbards, had Mother Hubbard's farm stand down the street. That farm stand was actually moved here. I think I'll show you. I might have showed it in another video, but I'll show it to you in this one. It's in rough shape. It's old. It's been used for storage. It's had animals in it, and the bones are okay. But in order to make it pretty, this could be a lot of work. I did not consider having any kind of building the first year in this business. He wants to move it close to where we're doing the nursery and have that be our like little farm store. Now, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm concerned that that's yet one more project that we have to do. When, Have I mentioned that I'm exhausted? I'm exhausted. We still have to get the fence up around the garden for the flower farm portion of this. The old fencing has to come down. The new fencing has to go up. We can't do any of that until some of this other stuff is done, and I'm worried that the bunny rabbits are going to start getting into these potted plants. So everything right now is an emergency. So I'm putting in some seriously long days. Okay, I am too old for what I put in yesterday, 14 hours. Like, if you think you're gonna work for yourself and take it easy, that's not how this game works. I mean, sure, if you've got the funds, you can pay somebody else to do everything, but we are not wealthy. So we're doing a lot of this ourselves. And I've had some awesome, okay, so my mom and my dad have come and helped numerous times. They're fantastic. We have a couple of friends, women that have come when I've gotten big shipments of plants in. Like, all together, I think I ordered 5,400 plants. That's a lot for 1 or 2 people to pot up. And these women offered to, for free, just because they love us, come help pot up. So one day I had 6 of us out there working. And we plowed. Ooh, huge chunk of wood. That's not good. That we busted some out that day. That made me happy and relieved, because these plants, some of these plants have come in bare root, and they cannot hang out bare root for long before they die. So I'm very thankful for the help that we got, because we're not up and running yet and cannot afford to pay employees. It's not possible. Okay, I'm gonna stop this, and I will clean my hands off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the building that my husband wants to rehab. The main building right here. This whole porch will have to come off, because I'll show you. The deck boards are, first of all, just plywood. And not only does it not look nice, it's kind of weathered. But there's a hole in the roof there. I put some of our pots in here, but this is just crammed full of stuff and more stuff. So yeah, getting this moved will be quite the project. But there's actually a picture of his grandparents on the porch there when this was the fruit stand on the highway. And then if we take this down, we got to figure out what to do with this tractor. So I think that he's being a little too optimistic, but we'll see. All this, we have so much cleanup to do around here, it's insane. So as you can see, maybe the roofers have started on the garage, but these 2 trees are coming down. That's our choice, but the this one on the left is leaning over the garage, and I don't want that risk. And then this one is way too close to the house. I mean, it is right up against the house, and in order to even get this insured, we had to promise the insurance company this was coming down, and if that tree falls on the house, they literally won't cover anything. Like, it's completely excluded. So that's coming down supposedly this weekend. So this is the chaos. I still have to paint the greenhouse door. It was so hot that it was over 100 degrees in there yesterday, so I threw a tarp up there. So that's actually gotta come down. I'm gonna have to buy some shade cloth. But let me set my coffee down. This is where the nursery business is gonna be, right where all that land is tilled up. I'm gonna bust the polytunnel in 2 and have 2 50-foot sections over here. I see all of our plants. And then for the flower farm part of it, you can see all the greenhouse plastic. That all needs to be taken care of. Yeah, so all this will need to be prepared for the flowers to go in. That needed to be done already, but of course, we're moving as fast as we can. Yeah. I would like it to be a little warmer than that. So I will keep you updated on our progress. I'm excited to get to opening day. I know there will always be work to do. That's just the nature of any business, but this has been a lot of hard physical labor so far. On a bonus side, I've dropped like 20 pounds. But right now I'm cold. I'm gonna go get some more coffee, and we'll see you on the next video.